All right, today Shade Tree Jet Ski working on a different little animal, a boat, hydraulic steering. So what we got is this is a Harris float boat, and it uses a hydraulic steering system. I want to show you something before we get started. Watch that hydraulic cylinder. See how much I can move that? That means there's air in the lines, and that's not safe for your boat traveling, because you ain't supposed to be wobbling this far on that system like that. So we've got to bleed this hydraulic system and tighten it up a little bit. It's moving far too much. And what you have to do, and you can see I can't show this from the other side, but you've got caps here on each end of this hydraulic cylinder here, and then a bleed screw, just like on a brake system. Pull the cap and loosen the little bleeder screw on each side. This one's missing the cap on this side, it looks like. And we're going to bleed this thing. So here's what we've got to fix this. I believe Star, I forget the name, SeaStar makes their own. This is just StarTron, which is, they make something that gets the, what is it? They make a really expensive fluid for putting in fuel to stabilize it, and it will get bacteria and all this other crap out of your fuel. So if you ever have one that won't start, there's a stuff called StarTron. They sell it at Walmart. I want to say I can't remember if it's blue or red, the bottle. And it's really expensive for a small bottle, but it can fix a lot of problems with your fuel system in these marine applications. So we got a quart of the hydraulic fluid to put in, and then I ordered a kit off of Amazon. I'll put the links in the description for these items. You can save yourself a whole lot of money doing this job yourself. It's very simple. Here's the part number, but I'll give the link and I'll show you how this works. Okay, so when you get your kit, these fittings might be a little loose between each other. Tighten that up so there aren't any leaks. And it's got basically a quick fit, quick disconnect system. I can show this a little better. They just push on, and then it'll lock into place just like that. Okay, and then the same thing on the other side, which I've already done it. It locks on, and now you're ready with this part, except for one more step, which is taking a 1/2 inch 13 millimeter wrench and loosening the bleeder screw so that hydraulic fluid will flow out when you turn the steering wheel up front. So you want to loosen these two bleeders, and you'll be able to see the fluid going into that. That's why they got a clear hose for you. You can also see if water has gotten into your system. Loosen those up on both sides. This is kind of working like a one-man brake bleeder on a car, because if you didn't do this, then fluid's going to go all in the boat, and it's going to, see, look, I'm already pushing out because the motor is wanting to come over this way. So there's some hydraulic fluid for you, but we got to get up front and get the air out of this system. There's all kind of bubbles in there. See that? Just all kind of bubbles in it. I doubt it's ever been done on this boat, but we were riding it, and it was we were getting a lot of kind of kinks in the steering, like it didn't want to do right. So let's go take care of that now. All right, I'm up in the front of the boat. Now, a lot of them, it's going to be right here on the steering in the center. On this Harris float boat, there's your port right there next to the antenna where the fluid goes in. So that's where we're going to connect, obviously, the small end of this hose. And you got to take the cap off. And this one you can get off by the fingers. Don't lose your cap. And that's our hydraulic fluid port right there. So let me get the hose hooked up and we'll show you. What you're gonna find, you're gonna move this steering wheel fully left, fully right. Look at all the air bubbles coming out of the system already. That's what's wrong with it. It's got air in there and it's not allowing that thing to operate like it's supposed to. Now this steering seems to just keep going and going and going and going. You know, this is a first boat with hydraulic steering I've ever driven. I only noticed some problems in the steering. And it just wasn't doing right. So, see, we're working out the bubbles. So it's way past the stop. In other words, maybe there isn't a stop on this, but we're going to get those bubbles out of there, baby. We let it sit for a minute. It seems like the bubbles will come rising up out of the system, trying to find an escape because we've got it plugged back there. So we want to let those bubbles escape as much as possible and then continue to do it. We've got to get that air bled out of this system. Just like in a car, if you get a spongy brakes, you know, you've got air in the line and you've got to take care of that. So that's what this job is doing, to get this air out of this system. And when you turn it, you're drawing the fluid down in. And so we're just working out the bubbles. And then when you're done, you'll go back and you'll test the looseness of the engine on the back, like I showed you at the beginning of the video, how loose it was. Yeah, we'll go back there. We're just forcing this air out of this thing. That's what we're doing. It's kind of therapeutic watching those bubbles come up out of that hose. But you continue to do that, and then you go check it in the back. That's what you do. Back and forth, back and forth. And it can take a pretty good while to get most of these bubbles out of this system. But you just got to be patient with it and keep working it. Keep working it, keep working it, keep working it. It's full of air. Of course, we're just pushing that big bubble right back down in there when we turn it. So what I need to do is try to let most of it come out into the bottle and then tip it up again. Watch, I'll let it off. There you go. Push the air all the way back into the bottle. You see, I've just got it laying on its side there. And that's what we want to see, is the air push all the way back into there and then fill that empty space with hydraulic fluid so that we're not putting air back in the system. That's the ideal we're going for here. Get the bubbles to be smaller and smaller. And we'll just keep working it. So I just push that big air back in. And when it comes out, if you're cranking and it starts coming out, just let it, and then let it run on its air back down into the bottle. That's what we're doing right now. And then it's going to get to a point where the pressure equalizes and balances, and there's going to be air stuck in the hose. But we're just working it out of that system back there. Now, when you get done with this, and you've gotten most of these air bubbles out, you want to go and close off your bleeder screws back in the back, and then check that engine, see if it isn't doing what it was before, where it's moving really, it had a far movement back and forth just by pushing the engine. We want that thing tight so when you're in the water, you don't have that wavy action going on with your engine. Nobody wants that. It's just not safe. There it goes, pushing it back in there. Pushing it back into the bottle, and you get the idea. That should be enough, and I'll show you what the engine looks like after I'm going to sit here and keep doing this until I get most of these bubbles out. Then we'll go back and do what I said and check in the back. Back there is how tight our engine is. We're back here at the back. Watch this. See, it doesn't want to move now. So we had a lot of air in that system, and now we're back where we're supposed to be with it. It's closed off up front. Of course, I closed these valves here, and then I need to find another cap and cap this one off with it. It's a cutter on the other one, but that's how you do it. And now the system is bled. The air is out of it. It should function properly. Thanks for watching Shade Tree Jet Ski. See you in the next video.